Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where a nickel for your thoughts, this is Ballot.
That's right. 3 coins in a fountain is going to cost 15 cents now. Let's hit this. I'm Patrick Gutfield, and the Treasury Department announced they're finally pulling the plug on the penny, and honestly, it's about time. This little copper-plated disaster has been costing us 3.69 cents to make for every 1 cent it's worth. That's like paying $4 for a $1 bill and calling it fiscal responsibility. President Trump ordered the Treasury to stop making pennies as a cost-saving measure, which makes sense when you realize we've been basically lighting $56 million on fire every year just to keep these things in production. And the cost keeps going up. 10 years ago, it only cost 1.3 cents to make a penny. Now, it's nearly 4 cents. At this rate, by 2030, we'll be spending a quarter to make each penny. The Mint is going to keep cranking them out until they run out of the metal blanks, which sounds like the world's most expensive going out of business sale. Everything must go. We're literally losing money on every transaction. Here's the kicker. There are still 114 billion pennies floating around out there. 114 billion. That's enough pennies to build a copper-plated bridge to financial ruin. But once they stop making new ones, businesses are going to have to start rounding everything to the nearest nickel. And speaking of nickels, those aren't exactly bargains either. Each 5-cent nickel costs 13.78 cents to produce. So we're spending nearly 14 cents to make something worth 5 cents. The only thing more expensive would be if we started minting monopoly money. The penny has been falling out of favor for years. Production dropped from over 9 billion coins in 2015 to just 3 billion last year. Even Americans, who will argue about literally anything, seem to agree that the penny is pointless. It's the political compromise nobody asked for but everyone can live with. So farewell, penny. You were the participation trophy of currency, technically worth something, but nobody really wanted you cluttering up their pockets. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Foundation is auctioning off 144 items from their collection to pay off debts, and honestly, this feels like watching your favorite uncle sell the family heirlooms to cover his gambling losses. The foundation bought this $25 million collection back in 2007 with a $2 million donation and a $23 million loan. They figured they'd pay it back through private donations, which is the nonprofit equivalent of buying a house and hoping to win the lottery to make the mortgage payments. 7 years ago, they were still $9.7 million in debt and had to resort to a GoFundMe campaign. A GoFundMe for Abraham Lincoln artifacts. They raised $35,000, which in the world of presidential memorabilia is basically finding loose change in your couch cushions. Maybe they could use some pennies. Now they're selling off the crown jewels, including Lincoln's bloodstained gloves from the night he was assassinated at Ford's Theater. Those gloves are estimated to sell for up to $1.2 million. Think about that. Someone's going to buy the gloves that Lincoln was carrying when John Wilkes Booth shot him. That's either the most meaningful piece of American history you could own, or the most morbid coffee table conversation starter ever. The collection also includes a page from Lincoln's childhood sum book from 1824, with the earliest known example of his handwriting. 14-year-old Abraham wrote, "Abraham Lincoln is my name, and with my pen I wrote the same. I wrote in both haste and speed, and left it here for fools to read." Even as a teenager, Lincoln had better comic timing than most late-night hosts. But here's my favorite item. A manuscript of Lincoln's spoonerisms, wordplay jokes where he'd transpose parts of words for laughs. He wrote about riding bass ackwards on a jassack and breaking his pishing foal. The future great emancipator was basically doing dad jokes in the 1800s. That manuscript is valued between $200,000 and $300,000. Louise Tapper, who originally donated these items, told Chicago Public Radio she's appalled by the auction. She wanted these historic pieces to stay in public view, not disappear into some billionaire's private collection where they'll gather dust next to their Monet and their vintage wine. So we're about to watch pieces of Lincoln's life get scattered to the highest bidders. Because nothing says preserving American history quite like putting it up on eBay with a really fancy auction house.
What happens when one of the most powerful men in music is accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable? Check out the new podcast, Did He Do It? Following the federal sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs, coming to you straight from New York City. Every day I'll take you inside the courtroom where prosecutors say Combs ran a criminal enterprise of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse, using his fame, fortune, and influence to silence victims and control lives. We'll cover the big stories and the small moments that can shift the verdict. The trial has begun. The questions are piling up, and every day we'll be asking the same thing. Did he do it? Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, this is a story that puts the magic in Magic Kingdom. Nicole Arena went to Disney World wearing a sports bra and leggings. You know, the kind of outfit people wear to exercise, which at Disney basically means running from ride to ride while carrying a $45 pretzel. Nicole and her husband were having a great day at Epcot, rushing around like they were training for the Olympics of Fun. They even accidentally waited in the wrong line for the Frozen ride, which, let's be honest, happens to everyone because Disney's line system is more confusing than assembling IKEA furniture while blindfolded. After waiting an hour, they finally reach the front of the line, and that's when a Disney employee suddenly decides Nicole's sports bra is improper. Now, Nicole says her outfit was no more revealing than what other guests were wearing, which raises the question, what exactly were the other guests wearing? Medieval armor? The employee suggests Nicole leave the line. After waiting an hour, remember to buy a t-shirt. So Nicole, being a reasonable person who just wants to ride a ride about a cartoon snowman, goes and buys a $45 tank top. $45 for a tank top! That's not Disney magic, that's Disney highway robbery. Here's the best part. When they return with the new shirt, a manager admits they never should have been stopped at the front of the line in the first place. The manager says any dress code issues should have been addressed at security or when they first approached the ride. So basically, oops, our bad, here's your wasted hour and your overpriced shirt back. And did Disney compensate them? Nicole says she felt brushed off, which is apparently the official Disney response to "we messed up." It's the customer service equivalent of "have a magical day" while shrugging. So remember, everyone, when you visit the happiest place on earth, make sure you're dressed appropriately. Apparently, sports bras are too scandalous for a place where grown adults wait 3 hours to hug a person in a mouse costume. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI.
My name is Marcus Cole. I coordinated operations you'll never read about. January 2018, Tehran. We stole Iran's nuclear secrets from a warehouse in 6 hours. That heist began 7 years of shadow war that ended with Operation Rising Lion and a new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media. My brother died in 2002. I've been carrying his dog tags and calculating impossible decisions ever since, trading lives like variables in an equation. Every operation saves some people by destroying others. I keep a private file of everyone who died because of missions I planned, their names, their families, their dreams I helped destroy. This is the story of how we prevented nuclear war and what it cost us to become the monsters who saved the world. Operation Rising Lion, the new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media, available wherever you get your podcasts.
He thought cryptocurrency would set him free. Instead, it made him a target. Alessandro Romano flew to New York for a business meeting with his former partner. What he found was an elaborate trap. A luxury apartment turned torture chamber. where digital dreams become real-world nightmares. For 8 days, he endured unimaginable torture. His captors wanted his Bitcoin passwords. They had police protection. They had done this before. This is the true story of friendship turned to betrayal, innovation turned to exploitation, and one man's fight for survival against a system designed to break him. Crypto Kidnap. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Want this podcast without commercial interruptions or feed drops? Calaroga Plus is just $5 a month, and you'll get this show ad-free. Plus, we've just added the full first seasons of Eastwood Reloaded and Crown and Controversy, so you can binge listen our new series without a single interruption. Calaroga Plus gives you palace intrigue, 5 good news stories, daily comedy news, 5 daily trivia questions, and all the other shows on the Calaroga Shark Media Network. Totally ad-free. For just $5 a month, it's the best deal going. Apple Podcast users can even get a 30-day free trial by clicking the banner that says uninterrupted listening. If you're on any other app, head to calaroga.com/plus. Link in the show notes. Don't wait. Get your uninterrupted content now. Apple Podcast users click that banner that says uninterrupted listening. If you're on any other app, head to calaroga.com/plus. Link in the show notes.